higher amounts of citrus intake could be linked to greater rates of melanoma seemed counterintuitive to me, but nevertheless, that's the result of a study that appears this week in the Journal of Clinical Oncology. There is some biologic plausibility here. Citrus fruits contain chemicals called psoralins. These are photoreactive chemicals that, when exposed to UV light, can intercalate into DNA and cause mutations. In fact, we use psoralins as part of PUVA therapy for psoriasis as a UV sensitizer. Of course, the pharmacologic dose of psoralin you get during that therapy is the equivalent of about 10,000 liters of grapefruit juice, but here we are. In this study, Harvard researchers combined two large prospective cohorts, the Nurses' Health Study and the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study. All told, these cohorts comprised 170,000 people. After exclusion criteria, including excluding anyone who wasn't white, the authors were left with 105,000 people for their analysis and around 25 years of follow-up. Over that period of time, there were roughly 2,000 new cases of melanoma. Citrus intake was assessed with a food frequency questionnaire, and indeed the authors found a dose-response relationship. For example, those consuming the highest amounts of citrus, greater than 1.6 servings per day, had a 50% increase in the risk of melanoma compared to those who ate no citrus at all. Rates of UV exposure and sunburns were the same across all the categories, so it doesn't seem like we're seeing a Florida effect here. The study was further strengthened when the authors looked at the relationship between citrus intake and other types of cancer, and they didn't find any. They also looked for relationships between other fruit and vegetable intake and melanoma, and didn't find any. All that being said, even if the citrus relationship is real, the real take-home from this study is the low rate of melanoma. We're talking 7 cases per 10,000 people per year. To prevent just one of those cases, you would need to convince roughly 2,500 people who were high citrus eaters to stop eating citrus. Compare that number to the roughly 150 people you need to convince to wear sunscreen to prevent a case of melanoma. All that taken together, I feel pretty comfortable saying that if you're the type of person who enjoys their grapefruit on a sunny Sunday morning, feel free to keep enjoying it. You just might want to wear a hat. For MedPage Today, I'm Perry Wilson.